Namaste, HT City. This is Jackson Wang. Went to play some cricket. I went to got some food. Am I the Jackson Wang that the audience know, or am I the Jackson Wang that I know? Didn't even go to college. Didn't even go graduate high school. It's almost if at some songs I wasn't trying to sing. I was trying to tell you how I feel. Right? You can't have everyone agreeing with you. Hopefully, I will be in Chris 4. Namaste. This is Jackson, and I'm in Mumbai. Second time visiting here, and the first time, obviously, I was here for Lollapalooza 3 years ago. It was for show. I got in, hotel venue, a hotel venue rehearsal, back to hotel, and then airport. So this time definitely coming back just to as a person to feel the city, feel the locals, and yeah, just going around, just being a human being. To see with my own eyes, the streets, the food, the people, the sports, right? And also the traditional outfits, right? What's the story behind that? Also, like, what is it like in the nightlife scene? Just being a citizen, you feel me? So not really thinking and not really just visiting the tourist places and all, and not really just for a show or some commercial events. So I'm glad it's my second day, but it feels like I'm here for like 3 years already. But
Wow.
because I just had three party yesterday, and went to play some cricket. I went to got some food and just sightseeing, just and meet a lot of friends. So yeah, this is what I've been doing. And after this, I'm going to a party again. So I
Ah,
love this experience.
and we love having you here. So the first question I'm going to ask you is about your collaboration with Diljit Dosanjh Buck. I mean, it's so vibey. I want to know, what is it like when two immensely talented musicians come together? What is it like when two powerhouses of talent come together?
Oh, obviously, I'm a big fan of him. He is as a superstar, a legendary icon himself. Yeah, the collaboration came about. We performed in Sahara Tent in Coachella 3 years ago, I guess. 3 years ago, yep. And so he was the guy, the artist that finished the night that day, and then I performed right before him. So I rushed and watched his performance. I was thinking like, oh, what if one day, it'll be a blessing if I can work with him. Such an amazing, impactful show. And all my friends, they're all his fans. And then after 3 years, while I was writing the song Buck, which is out for a month already, I was like, Diljit would sound fire and crazy in this song. So I just sent him. I said, "Hey, champ, um, if you vibe with it, please, go ahead and give it a try. If you don't, all love, it's all good." And then he's like, "Give me 2 weeks." So I was like, "Oh my God, like this is really happening." So I really appreciated that, and he showed me a lot of support, a lot of positive energy. He took care of me as a senior, just as an artist, as a person. So I'm very lucky to be able to have this kind of experience, and I hope that Indian audience can also know this song and be able to uh, uh, listen to it and dance with it.
And now talking about magic. And I want to tell you something, Jackson, because somebody today asked me who's the one singer, artist that you could keep listening to, not the music, but when they talk. And the only name that came to mind was you. Because I
Oh,
just
really? Thank
love,
you.
love listening to how you articulate things, and you're also unfiltered. So magic is the key word in your journey, I would say, from Magic Man to Magic Man 2. How has Jackson Wang, the person and the artist, evolved between these two albums? And what is magic really for you?
I think Magic Man 2 compared to Magic Man 1 is more songs about what I want to say as a person. How am I the Jackson Wang that the audience know, or am I the Jackson Wang that I know? Right. And I think that has a lot to do with the stuff that I experienced, in life ups and downs, especially when I entered the industry and society at such a young age when I was 19. Like I missed out a lot in my youth and didn't even go to college, didn't even go graduate high school, So entering society and in this industry, witnessing and experiencing everything, it was a lot for me to handle, at such a young age. And I realized I've never talked about it. I never talked about how I feel. I never talked about how I feel about life in general. I never talked about how I feel about the industry. How do I feel about reality? What reality is, right? How I feel about humanity, humans, just people, and how I feel about um like my parents, and how I feel when I was going through all these experiences, how I felt internally, and whatever that emotion is within me when I was going through all these different stages of life. Physically, that is Magic Man. That is the me inside me, but my skin is just Jackson Wang, like as everybody sees it. But yeah, so the entire album is talking about that. And there are some songs that I'm talking about high alone, like when I released this in the beginning of the year. I released this high alone talking about even if I have so many people surrounding me every single day, I still feel lonely a lot of times. And the fact is we all die alone.
Yeah.
But the fact that it is what it is not a good thing, is not a bad thing. It's just this is just facts, right? And also another song about G-Bad, about like, hey, sometimes in life you go through we always want to spread and share love, but people can take advantage of that. And when people do step across the boundary, you just have to protect your own self. You have to protect your own will. And that might come across as you're being an right? But it is what it is. Protect your own will. So life is great, but sometimes you just have no choice but to be a right. And also recently I just have another song called Hate to Love, talking about people when we really think about it, people don't love to hate. They hate to love because it takes more effort for them to it takes more effort for them to love something than hate, so you get what I mean? So that is about that. And there's songs like in the album that's going to be released in July 18th, Magic Man 2. There's songs how I felt internally when I was going through all this. I have a song called Everything. And I'm talking about I gave everything for this. I gave every single thing at every chance and opportunity possible, but this is what I get, and this pain is what I get. This loneliness is what I get. Like when I was going through certain experience. And there's songs about my parents, because how I feel about my parents. Sometimes us, as kids and our parents, it feels like us and our parents, we're on the same street, but they're just further up. And it's a cycle. And that got me thinking like, hey, you think they were never young before? You think they were ready when they had us? You think they were ready to be mom and dad? They were never ready. They just had to deal with it. And even you think they weren't young and with dreams before? You think they never went partying? They went never, it's just like us, and the more I grow, I realize that, and so this entire album is really just talking about how I feel, how I feel about my life in every aspect, about humanity, reality, all this kind of thing.
This is what I've taken a line from one of your interviews where you said, don't blame your parents for mistakes. They didn't know any better. They didn't. It was their first time too. So now coming to this, you've also been very open about mental health, burnout, for someone who's been so successful, being on the global stage, having
I'm
this,
not successful.
well, for me, you are.
Oh, thank you so much. But I'm not, definitely not. I'm still getting there. I'm still figuring out. I'm never satisfied. But like I appreciate like, the journey, but I'm always evolving. Yeah.
But how important was it for you to address this to people? And since the Magic Man 2 is also from your own diary, which is one recurring theme that you noticed when you were going through the pages of your diary. So I've asked you two questions in one.
Yeah, I think for Magic Man 2, I stopped 1 year. I took a year off and I was just creating songs with no stress without thinking that I have to use them, right? I just kept creating and what's true to me, whatever I felt like according to my diaries, what kind of message, what do I want to say as a person and not what I want to say as 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 the artist. What do I want to say inside? Like, what do I want to say as a human being? So I wrote down everything, converting them into music. I wrote like 60 plus songs. And and then, like I said, there's different chapters in Magic Man 2 album from like manic highs when you thought everything was good until until losing control is because when things happened, anything, you react to it. Your emotions kick in. Whether you're reacting to it, whether you're very depressed or very happy or very sad, very painful. That's like the reaction of it. That's losing control within it. And then it becomes when you calm down, it goes into realization where you start to realize and reflect on things and you start to notice things that you didn't even know before. And then the last is acceptance. You just accept everything and just move on with life. The good is not always the good, bad is not always the bad. Good comes with the bad and bad comes with the good. You just you accept everything and you move on with life. And that's the entire journey of Magic Man 2, 4 different chapters. And based off this standard, this logic, I picked 11 songs that can best describe them. And within the songs, there are a lot of songs. The reason I picked those 11, there are a lot of it that it's so imperfect. And I think that's the beauty of it because it's almost if at some in some songs I wasn't trying to sing. I was trying to tell you how I feel, you know? And it's not about am I hitting that melody or not? Am I doing that? It's full of emotions. And I think it's so to me, it's so perfect that because it's not perfect. So these are the 11 songs that I selected as my album, July 18th, Magic Man 2.
Wow. Okay, so I'm coming again. Superstar, style icon, and super enterprising person is what I would define Jackson Wang as. But I want to know, how does Jackson Wang define himself as a brand?
Define, I think, honesty, honesty and being authentic, and even my brand, like Teamwork Design, TWD by Jackson Wang, and even my music, I try to be me. And when I was young, I always try to be cool. I want to be cool at this. I want to show people that I can do this and that. But the more I grow, I was just reflecting and I'm thinking that what is cool? What does cool even mean? And then I think the more I grow, I feel like it actually maybe it means being consistent on being yourself, not being affected by anything and be proud of who you are because everyone is unique, so being comfortable with yourself and accepting yourself.
I want to be that cool. I want to emulate that standard of cool, Jackson. But also, before I come to a few fan questions, I just want to ask you one question for somebody who's been making music for a decade. How do you navigate this hyper competitive space and keep yourself grounded? Because you've spoken, you're often misunderstood. There's a perception that there's always a perception for each one of us. How do you navigate this and keep your sanity in this crazy world?
Just try to like obviously you can't have everything, right? You can't have everyone agreeing with you. You can't have every just basically know your position, know your lane and be focused on your lane. Because I always feel like life is like a race, right? But it's your own race. It's not like everyone's not everything is about competing and like competing with someone else or this and that, you know. Yeah, especially with the world, you know, with social media, internet, very accessible this generation. It's very easy, sorry, it's very easy to lose yourself. You know, every day the trend is changing, this and that. And what is the trend though? Like a lot of it, then that changes your perception on viewing things that you don't even know who you are anymore. You don't even know what you want anymore.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much, Jackson. And quickly, your fans, Mara has asked, what is the one song in your discography which describes you best?
I think Magic Man too, honestly.
If you were invisible for a day, what is that one thing you would do?
Walk through walls.
That's
Yeah.
interesting. If you could try and travel, which is the one music icon you would want to meet and make music with?
If I could travel,
Time travel, which is that
I
one
want to
music.
go to the beginning of humans and see what's up. So then I could be the leader there. I help tell them, hey, you know what, you can cook with fire. You know what, you can do this, you know, do have, you know, or you know, you get me?
Yeah.
Or maybe I travel to the end of the last few days of Earth, or probably the last year of Earth. Like, what is it going to feel like? You know, as long, yes, probably then at that time we all will know like what all this is about, what all this Earth and humans, like what is this about? Like, how are we even formed? Like, you get me? Is it an experiment? Is it are we the aliens? You know, so this is probably what I want to do.
Oh, cool. Wow. Interesting. And last two, being a celebrity, which is that one thing you miss doing.
Nothing. I'm cool with now. Yeah.
Well, indeed, the coolest man. And someone's asked, since you and Hrithik are such good friends, how about getting him on for one of your music videos, making him collaborate?
He's a busy icon, you know. He's the champ himself, so super legendary icon himself. So I'm not sure. Like it's everyone's busy. He's busy, and I don't want to. Maybe you know. I heard he's preparing Chris 4. You know, Chris 4, and hopefully I will be in Chris 4.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I come out and I die right away.
Ah, no,
Yeah.
no, no, no,
Yeah.
we want you there.
Namaste, HT City. This is Jackson Wang. I'm in Mumbai, and thanks for having me. And this time, my visit, it's the second time visiting India. And yeah, just here as a human being, just going out and feeling the city, the traditional culture and also the food, the people, the sport, and I had an amazing time. Also, the nightlife is crazy. So, yeah, I'm having a great time. And Magic Man 2 is out on July 8th, 18th. July 18th is when Magic Man 2 is out. And hopefully, if I have this opportunity, potentially I will want to do a world tour and also include India as one of the places that I visit. So please give me this opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
Thank you so
Jackson.
much.
And I could keep talking to you all day long, but you are a busy man. Enjoy
Thank you
yourself
so much.
and all the very best. Such a pleasure speaking to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.